Man, do I really love waking up early in the morning. Every day, I get the special benefit and the opportunity to be able to remove myself from my bed and drag myself to get ready for school. Yeah, as you can already see, I'm pretty much a morning person. I like to hear the birds chirping, feel the morning breeze, and see the sun rise from the horizon, so it's pretty natural that to happen. No, but like, seriously, in all honesty, it's literally just one of the hardest processes that I ever have to go through in my entire life, and I'm pretty sure many of you agree to that. So in order to understand why I have to go through such rigorous processes, I decided to analyze why I have to wake up so early in most days of my life. So the reason behind my prevalent lack of sleep was caused by as such. Every day, I would have to stay up late for the completion of my assignments, and on the following day, I would have to wake up early as a preparation for school. The days I wouldn't have to wake up as early would be either during the weekends or the holidays. So to sum it up, in a sense, the act of waking up early in the morning all just depends on whether I have to go to school or not. Okay, all right, okay, calm down, okay? The purpose of me standing here isn't to basically complain to you like a spoiled child about how I don't want to go to school, but it's to rather propose a solution, or rather answer the question, whether we should change the venue of school. As you can probably already know from what I said earlier, the problem that I'm currently facing is the lack of sleep, which is a common and widespread problem that is not only limited to teenagers around my age, but just human beings in general. Sleep, as you can probably already know, is a daily routine that all human beings must go through in order to recover our bodies, and also our minds. At least for us teenagers, we need to get around 8 to 10 hours of sleep to do so. However, if we don't get that sufficient amounts of rest, there can be several negative effects to our bodies, such as a decrease in brain activity, deficiency in our immune system, and it just doesn't allow us to be prepared for the following day. As students, working on assignments, meeting expectations, and just improving in an academic standard is something deemed necessary in this modern society. To do so, we'll have to invest a lot of time into what we do, which will lead to this problem unless you're like someone like I know who's productive even at home. So I brainstormed from changing the timetable all the way to utilizing the advancement of technology until I was able to come up with a certain conclusion. I may have just found an idea that could possibly solve this problem. And this idea all comes from who I am as an individual. I am one of the people that watch science fiction movies just for the fun of questioning its reality. From feasible to wacky, I've had a good batch of memories witnessing different interpretations of how technology would advance in the near or far future. And among these movies, The Matrix was quite intriguing and raised quite a few questions. There's this scene in the movie where Neo, the main character, decides to enter this virtual reality world called The Matrix, where he learns a few tricks to put up his sleeve and just overall experiences a lot of things just by initiating educational programs. So I wonder, can technology improve enough to make this certain imagination reality? I mean, think about it. Current technology is improving at an exponential rate, at which even we don't know what its limitations are. Imaginative ideas thought of decades ago, such as virtual reality, is in its beginning to become, or who knows, maybe it's already mainstream. So for that reason, I hereby present my brilliant, innovative, and original idea of sleep education, which is education that happens when we sleep. At least for us teenagers, our brains constantly function even when we sleep, in which we can deduce that we constantly think even at a subconscious state. This idea basically simulates this phenomenon, which simulates vivid dreaming to allow us to learn anything in a very short amount of time. So let's say if you want to learn about something or gain a certain skill, but you can't invest time into doing so, then just run one of these programs, and the next thing you know, you'll have all the knowledge that you need. Let's see. You want to visit another country, but you hate sign language? Run a language program. You want to learn how to cook, but you can't even fry your eggs properly, then just run a cooking program. You want to get a 45-minute diploma program? Just run a diploma program. Well, you get the idea, okay? As you can already see, it would be pretty much a dream come true if this would actually happen, right? I mean, you could just get all the knowledge that you need in the matter of seconds. Well, in my opinion, I don't think so. Because even after brainstorming so long about a solution to my lack of sleep, while also trying to answer the question of whether we should change the venue of school or not, I really don't think we should change the venue of school, at least as of now. I mean, even with this idea of sleep education itself, this system where we can learn anything perfectly in a very short amount of time is in fact considered a flaw, which I'll get to later. Essentially, educational systems are the parents of how our society is formed. It teaches us lessons, how to learn, how to think, how to interact, and how to succeed after countless failures through effort. Glamorous job positions, which are set by society, such as politicians, neurosurgeons, and physicians, do certainly serve as important figures in society. However, when we go to the root of these positions, we see these figures grow from preschool, primary school, secondary school, and all the way to college, where they can finally gain the ability to contribute to society. Of course, by implementing my original idea of sleep education, we could have these individuals become geniuses in the fraction of the time required. Well, instead, the generation would cease to feel or become humane, which would sort of create this artificial society where everyone would have the exact same skills and the exact same level, which, in my opinion, would be quite dull and uninteresting, in my opinion. I don't know. Well, I mean, at this point, we may as well just mass-produce artificial intelligent robots instead. Of course, as we all know, the current venue of school certainly has its own problems, with one of its biggest flaws being the indicator of success. There are indeed students who are not set up for the same amount of success as others in the exact same way, which is pretty obvious since everyone is different. I mean, I guess this may have been the main reason why changing the venue of school was questioned ever so in the first place. However, you could think of it this way. The way current educational systems functions drives different individuals to be shaped in their own unique way, which is similar to how we play around with clay. At a younger age, students would start to learn the basics, the fundamentals, and they'll start to explore on what their strengths and weaknesses are, which is similar to how we just play around with clay when we receive it. At this point, success and failure is not really emphasized since we're just learning more about ourselves. As these students grow older, they'll start to branch out and improve on what they're thought to excel at, to either continue their academics in the venue of school or to just take a different career path if academics is just not suited for them. And honestly, it's not that much of a bad idea, because society is changing in a positive way in this very aspect to allow these options other than academics to feel more acceptable than ever before. For this reason, this once thought to be this flaw of the venue of school can soon become this certain advantage for society, since it will provide a diversity in career options to allow our world to feel more colorful, interesting, and just humane. After a few more years, these individuals can soon become independent and gain the ability to contribute to the society that they live in, which is similar to how an art made by clay functions in an art gallery. And what I said is basically how supportive I am of the current venue of school. With enough time, effort, and technique, anyone can turn a low-quality, soggy piece of clay into a magnificent piece of art. I mean, like seriously, it can't get any further than that. True success should only be given to those who put the time and effort into what they want to become in the future. Therefore, instead of continuing on, rambling on about whether we should change the venue of school or not, I think it's a better idea to derive the question into answering how we should improve the venue of school. Reiterating what I said earlier, success is not thrown to you on a whim. Though many people know this, not a lot of people truly understand it from the bottom of their heart, like when you look up to your role models. The success of that person is the only thing that truly catches your attention. And honestly, it's inevitable because it's bright, it's admirable, and it's literally the main reason why you're ever looking up to that person. However, we need to understand properly and be educated thoroughly about the distance we must take in order to reach the same level as our role models, but maybe even to surpass them. However, unfortunately, due to how the functions of society is changing over time, it seems that this concept is becoming more difficult to grasp, which allows the consecutive generations to feel more impatient and hastier than ever before. Have you ever told anyone about how easy a past difficult experience was? Well, I don't try that. I know everyone here told at least one person who's probably younger than you about how easy the work is compared to yours. I mean, grade 10, personal project, quadratics? Oh my gosh. It's just too easy, like, honestly. Okay. Other than probably annoy your juniors, it isn't necessarily a bad thing to say, because the fact that you even said that shows this growth and improvement in your ability to persevere through a certain hardship. And what I said earlier is how I think the current venue of school should take its direction. Useful skills such as patience, perseverance, and decision-making should be emphasized further by allowing students to experience events that can be encountered as an adult in society. Well, I mean, if we want to know a reason why, then here's why. As I mentioned towards this entire presentation, society and technology is improving at an exponential rate, at which popular trends are scraped out and replaced with something else in the matter of days or, who knows, even seconds. This speed and advancement forces everything to be just as fast, such as, let's say, communication and shopping. I mean, in this modern era, if you're just going to send a short message to a friend or a colleague, why bother going your way to handwrite a letter when you could just type up a few words and send it via email? And why bother drag yourself all the way to a shopping mall when you could have the potential and the ability to buy the exact same products online? And that is where I think this problem lies. Now everything is becoming so fast and so convenient that this concept of effort is slowly but gradually fading from the minds of society. Therefore, for this reason, it is worrying to see this potential of individuals gaining this inability to fully adapt to the workplace due to how convenient their lives may have become. If students take a breeze or gain little to no experience or any knowledge about how society functions, it would only be a matter of time where these students would encounter this life-changing problem that they probably would not be able to make a wise decision of due to the lack of experience that they accumulated. And what I said is basically how I think the venue of school should improve. In order to feel less relative difficulties or hardships as an adult, students must be exposed to not a lot, not less, but an adequate amount of difficulties and blocked roads as a student in school. By doing so, when they are encountered with these life-changing problems, they are able to handle it more calmly and wisely to continue their stable life as an adult in society. In this hypersonic society, sometimes it's better to slow down instead of conveniently taking the shortcut, just like the amount of time you invest in an ordinary school, but as a unique student or as yourself. Because in the end, at the peak of success, you'll be able to look back and say, oh well, that was nothing much. Thank you.